Hello everyone, welcome to this message. So as our first card today, we have the Singer of the Chalice, and the two cards that follow after that are the Spirit Dancer and the Singer of Connection. So let's see what this is going to be about. Um, so, so the Singer of the Chalice has to do with, well, it has two different meanings. So I do see a slender figure here. Um, like right now it looks like the subconscious hallways actually. So sometimes it looks like that, subconscious hallway. So there is someone walking around in your subconscious, it seems. And this person seems to have a coffee in his hand or like a thermos or something. So that's very interesting. Since I'm also like drinking coffee, so peculiar. And then we have as our overall energy, social pressure. So what the memory that connects to that has to do with the time in which I still thought I was milk intolerant. So because I was like literally born milk intolerant, and I grew out of it when I was like 8 years old. So after that, I could actually tolerate milk. And nowadays, I do know that I'm also like I can't eat gluten as well. So, and now I know that milk is not a problem, but the gluten was the actual problem. That there was a sensitivity there that was very advanced, right? So it was very difficult to actually get it on point because even like products that actually have the gluten free label on it still can have cause issues with me. So now I know that I can perfectly eat milk, that there's no problem there. But back in the day, like it relates to social pressure as it relates to food, of course, and just social pressure in general, right? So social pressure in the sense like that, for example, my parents wanted me to go and eat ice cream with them, and that was kind of like difficult because even like then, yeah, I remember now, even then, this relates to memory where my father, who also can't eat gluten, he just went to the ice cream shop back then, but I had problems with that, so I was more careful because I was sick more often than him because I was more sensitive, right? So, and then they asked, like, so shall we go and eat some ice cream? And yeah, it was kind of difficult because you have to say no, right? Or you don't eat, like you say yes, but you don't eat ice cream, or like if you're a little bit lucky you can just ask for a bowl of fruit and like fix it that way, right? So it has to do with social pressure in general, and also social pressure as it relates to food intolerances, of course, quite literally, because that would be like the literal memory, yeah, literal correlation. So let's see. So and the domino that goes with that, because the domino was chosen very interestingly, is the 2 and the 6. So let's just see what that was about. Um, well, it was reversed back then. So it was actually a 6 that goes towards a 2. I have to show it like that. A 6 that goes towards a 2. Um, so yeah, for me this means that there's something about um, you feeling comfortable as it relates to social pressure. That's what this is talking about. So, as it relates to social pressure, you are feeling quite comfortable on a very deep level to the point of the subconscious. So, even when it comes to subconscious, which is very interesting, right? So, even as it relates to the subconscious level, like you are okay with social pressure. So, this could be saying, like, just like when you have a food intolerance, is like uh, a great analogy for all kinds of social pressure, right? So to so you could, for example, like in this case, like you could technically back in the day, you could go and eat that ice cream, or you could eat a milk containing product to make someone else happy, right? Just be part of the group. But at the same time, like you would be hurting yourself in the process, right? So it would be hurting your health as a result of that, right? And this could also be like any other kind of social pressure that could hurt your health quite literally. And we have had like examples of that in the past that don't relate to gluten as well, right? So and we like would like we let's just say that society has is really maturing in this, right? Really maturing as it relates to social pressure. So it has been a big topic. And I do think that society has never been the same afterwards, right? So yeah, so I do think that this relates to you being very, very comfortable, even to the subconscious level. So on to the deepest level of your being, you are okay with social pressure and choosing what is right for you, right? Choosing what is healthy for you, choosing what is right for you, even though that there is social pressure. And it's also very interesting. This is a card of grace, right? Because the thing of the chalice is a card of grace. I often see that as like pouring into you, right? So there is something about grace as well. So there's something almost like that God is actually causing this really, really comfortable feeling. So that you are even subconsciously to the depths of your subconscious, you are okay with social pressure. So to be okay with that has something to do with God, right? So God is causing that feeling. So if you're like, okay, I feel comfortable um, not succumbing to social pressure and like doing what is best for me, doing what is right for me, doing what is healthy for me, right? Choosing the path that your intuition is calling you towards, the path of the Holy Spirit, right? So like to stay in alignment with yourself, it pretty much talks about that and having to say no or having to stand up for yourself in some kind of way in order to protect your own health, in order to protect your own well being, your connection with your own intuition, your connection with the Holy Spirit, right? Connection with your soul, which to me means the same thing. So, yeah, so that's what this is relating to. So you could just do what other people want you to do, right? Which is also like social pressure. Like you could just do what other people want you to do, just succumb to the social pressure, right? And get out of alignment with yourself, pretty much. Get out of alignment with God. Get out of alignment with the Holy Spirit. So to get out of alignment with your soul, right? So, and that's what this is talking about. So, if you are feeling quite okay with that, it's because God is like giving you, helping you to the form of grace, right? To the Holy Spirit. God is helping you. Um, and then you have the spirit dancer that comes afterwards. So, the spirit dancer has to do with also quite literally spirit breaking through, right? So, it could be that this pertains to grace. So maybe you are experiencing a or have been experiencing quite a lot, or just right now you are like these last 24 hours, for example, right? So it could be these last 24 hours or these last couple of hours or just this lately, right? This lately in terms of a this past time period, however long you want to see that, like there has been a lot of grace. So there has been a lot of God's Spirit, right? The Holy Spirit causing, like, coming through, right? Coming through all the way towards your subconscious, because it makes me think about something like breaking through a barrier, just like it's kind of strange. So again, just like yesterday, logically you would see it like this, but it's like that. So it's kind of fascinating. So there's something about maybe someone is rummaging about in your subconscious. So or at least is seeking to do that, right? But you are very comfortable. So kind of makes me think like based on the experiences I've had in the past 24 hours, right? It could have something to do with that people are. seeking to rummage about in your subconscious, but they can rummage about all they like. It's kind of like, yeah, go and walk my subconscious hallways because it's empty there. You won't be finding anything there. And to me, it actually relates today to the gut, right? So whether you want to see the gut as like bacteria, as like literally like your gut health, which relates to food, right? Or whether you want to see it as your gut, the health of your gut in terms of like your intuition, right? Your connection with yourself, your intuition, these kinds of things, right? However you want to see it, like it's perfectly fine if if they walk around your subconscious because your gut health is okay. So they can rummage about there or however they like, right? So today, most definitely, people were trying to cause a reaction, you could say, purposefully cause a perhaps purposefully causing a reaction, seeking to rummage about and like create ruckus, right? So maybe you are experiencing something like that as well. But most definitely, there's something about that people can rummage about all they like in your subconscious, right? They can do whatever they want. And it could have something to do with that your gut health is fine, so they can do whatever they want there, right? You won't be giving a reaction because your gut health is feeling good, right? And you could also see that as a metaphor, like your intuition is you're okay with yourself, you're okay with your being. So as a result of that, they can like rummage about all they like, right? So in my case, it has to do with there's a connection between these two, right? So as long as I don't ingest like anything that my body would see as a foreign substance, right? As something to cause to respond with a very very severe autoimmune reaction towards. Like everything, like people can do whatever they want, right? Like it's totally fine for me. So they can push whatever buttons they want to push. They're not going to get a reaction out of me, right? I will just stay peaceful and yeah, I will see you for what it is, right? So they can do whatever they want. But there's something like I do think that Satan is seeking to test people, is seeking to see the test out the waters. Like, can I get through? Can I? Um, yeah, there was also something very interesting that I talked about that maybe I should take an allergy pill. I didn't know for certain, right? So this already like God talking back to me to say like, no, everything is fine. You have not ingested gluten, so everything is fine. You don't have to worry. And I already noticed that, but I took an allergy pill anyway, just to be sure. And but like this person heard that and saw that as an invitation, right? So to see like, okay, let's test the waters. Let's see what kind of rockets we can create here, right? Because this could be a weak moment, right? And there's something about that. I do think I could sense that it was Satan himself, right? So so you might notice that Satan may is looking for a weak moment, right? In this moment, and as soon as he can find a weak moment, he will immediately pass through, right? So he's kind of like testing the waters. He's looking, can I find a weak point to um to get through to you? But it won't work, right? It won't work. And there's something here about the singer of connection. It has to do. This is a card that oftentimes makes me think about a bridge between the human and the divine, right? And like that this bridge is solid, right? So as long as this connection is there, as long as this bridge is solid, um, like Satan won't be able to create ruckus in your life. So yeah, as long as you are really really connected to God, right? That there is a lot of connection back and forth. Could also have to do with divine instructions, you following those divine instructions, you being in great connection with God, like in great communication with God. As long as that is the case, like Satan won't be able to pass through. Like he can do whatever he wants. Like he won't be able to create a ruckus. That's pretty much that, right? And then we have Taden the Sylph. So Taden the Sylph looks at things from a higher perspective, right? So, and also as it relates to triggers, right? So when someone is seeking to purposefully trigger you, which is what Satan is seeking to do, right? He's testing the boundaries, right? Seeing, can I get through to the subconscious? Can I rummage about in the subconscious and perhaps cause shadow work? Can I cause some kind of issue here, right? So Satan is most definitely seeking to do that. I've noticed that myself. And there's something about that you can look at things from a really, really high perspective. So, and you are seeing very, very clearly what Satan is doing, so he's not getting away with it, pretty much, right? So you are like, okay, I see what you're doing here. You're seeking to cause ruckus purposefully. You're seeking to trigger. You're seeking to cause some kind of a disturbance within me. Like I'm not gonna fall for it, pretty much. And yeah, and then we have ecstasis. So it has to do with um usually this is my card of like, but it makes me think, like, it has a feeling to it today. So on the one hand, I see it as this subconscious, the subconscious hallways, right? Which it looks like in the gut, right? Quite literally, right? Like they can pass through your gut all you like, right? They can um, walk around through the subconscious hallways all they like. There's not going to be a reaction, right? And there's something here today about something about you presenting it back to them. So it's kind of like, no, here you go, right? So I'm get like it is, maybe there's something about that it secretes from your body. There's something about you giving it back. You giving it back to Satan, right? So let's see. And let's look at the top, from the top to the bottom. So there's something here about like this subconscious rummaging about, but they can comfortably, like it's kind of like take your coffee, right? Take your coffee, walk around my subconscious hallways. There's not going to be a problem here because my gut health is good, or like your symbolic gut health is good, right? You're okay with yourself. You're okay with social pressure. You're fine. Like everything is going great there, right? So they can do whatever they want. And let's see, and you're like looking at it from a higher perspective. We're looking at it from a higher perspective, like you're seeing it for what it is. um and it's also grace is also causing this. Let's see. And then we have the spirit dancer. So so some so Satan, like expressing himself through an individual, right, to people, is seeking to uh, get through to your it's almost like he is getting through, right? But it's fine. So it's kind of like it's not so very, not so much like he's seeking to get through. He's actually there, right? He is rummaging about, like he is going around in your subconscious hallways, like he is walking around there, right? But it's kind of like God would say, like, here is a coffee. Make yourself comfortable. Like, go around and walk through my hallways, my subconscious hallways. Like it's clear. These hallways are clear. You're not going to find anything here. There are no, for example, like there are no pictures on the wall here or whatever, right? So you like go ahead, like go around the hallways. It's fine. And but like Satan is seeking to get away with that, but you are seeing what he is doing, right? So you are seeing how he is walking around in your subconscious. So you're witnessing it from a higher perspective. Like, okay, like go around in my subconscious. Like you go and create ruckus all you like. I see what's happening, and like you go and do that, right? Um, so that's pretty much what this is. And then we have the singer of connection. So this has to do with you having a really solid connection with God, right? So there is no problem here. And presenting it to them, presenting it back to them. So I do think that God may be like, it's quite religious, and I don't really believe in a lot of the traditional religious doctrines. So I don't want to be influenced by that. So let's see if there may be another interpretation, perhaps. But there's something about God presenting it back to them. Like, here you go, right? God is presenting it back to them. So just see it how you want to see that. I'm not going to be interpreting that message. So you can just interpret it the way you want to interpret it. But there's something about that God is like giving it back to them, right? So you could see that perhaps, if you want to see it that way, as God presenting justice back to them, right? So let's just see. Um, and then we have Mike the Myomancer, which like is someone who is studying the patterns, who's studying the details, right? Who's studying human behavior, is observing human behavior, and he is also the card of the devil being in the details as well, right? So someone is most definitely studying you, observing you, clearly listening to you. I don't know if you've also had this experience, but Satan was like repeating like his annoyance with my voice, right? So he was repeating that. So it could have something to do with that as well. So maybe Satan is seeking to shut you up, quite literally, or is seeking to repeat something that has triggered you before, that has created a reaction before, which in my case was like I had gluten in my system back then, right? So now I'm like, yeah, you go ahead, do whatever you want, because I don't have gluten in my system, so that won't cause a reaction in me. So but most definitely there's something about that they're like that they're listening to the tiniest of details. They're like looking at they're listening very, very clearly to what you are saying. And yeah, Satan is the devil is in the details, right? So like listening for the details and hoping that there is something, right? So and then you have illness and pets. Illness and pets. Why was that the case? Maybe it has to do with that there is a pest. Did this cabbage have pests in the garden back then? And I still had a vegetable garden, because that could be why it is related. I'm assuming that there may have been a pest back then in this cabbage. So I do think that there's something about that there is a pest in your life somehow, and this pest in your life is the devil in a detail, right? Looking, observing in order to have something, right? To have something to trigger you with. And they're studying the tiniest of details, right? Especially in terms of hearing. And there's something about, let's see, 1 towards 6. So this has to do with that you are very comfortable in expressing yourself. So you are very comfortable in just expressing yourself as you are. And I do think I've noticed that as well myself, that Satan is seeking to weaponize that, right? Um, and is like, in my case, actually focused in the self-expression in and of itself, right? So Satan would like for me to literally shut up, quite literally. Like it's yeah, he's back to that again, right? So yeah, so Satan literally wants me to shut up. And but I'm very comfortable with my self-expression, right? So I'm not falling for that. I'm not falling for the social pressure to now no longer say anything throughout the day, because Satan has a problem with me even saying 3 words. So I'm just going to be expressing myself anyway, right? And I'm going to be comfortable doing that as well. And this is also like God causing this comfortability of self-expression. So God is helping you pretty much. That's what God wants to say. Like, I am helping you here to keep on self expressing, even if there are certain individuals that are connected to Satan that are seeking to literally make you shut up, right? So even if things are quite difficult, like you will be able to express yourself. I will give you the courage, right? I will give you the backbone. I will give you whatever you need to keep on self-expressing yourself in a very comfortable way. So you're not going to be shut up by anyone, right? And so in my case, it's like literally three words. I've got and they have a problem with me. So let's just see. Um, yeah, and at the bottom of the deck, there's something very interesting happening as well. And this is the fairy godmother. So there's something about that you are replacing um, the etherical realm, the earthly realm with the etherical realm, the ethereal realm. So it means that you are. This is like, if you would see that biblically, this is like worldly ways versus divine ways, God's ways, right? So you are not doing things in worldly ways, you're doing things in godly ways, right? In divine ways, in God's ways. So, and this is causing, so you could come across, because this has to do with um, awe, awe and naivety. So maybe right now you could be coming across in the earthly dimension, because it's a little bit the same color, right? So as this apple. So, but it's an orange right now. So there's something about that you're coming across quite naive, perhaps. You're coming across as someone who is in awe with things, who is enthusiastic, perhaps, who is curious about things, who's wondering about things. So, and people who are in worldly ways may see that as naive, right? Or yeah, but there's nothing negative happening there. Quite the contrary, because we have the double tree here, which actually relates to like um, a massive expansion that is happening. So stay the way you are, because either other people may not be able to understand it, right? And they may seek to um, use it against you and all kinds of things, right? But stay who you are. Stay enthusiastic. Stay what other people may think is naive. Stay in awe. Stay curious. Stay in wonder. Because this is the fairy godmother, right? So the fairy godmother makes dreams come true, right? So, and I do think there is a massive expansion as a result of you being this way. So dare to be this way, I would say, because this is also going to be uh, expanding your finances as well. So it's going to have a financial positive consequence, and it's going to be quite expansive, right? Quite, like I would say, like a humongous expansion as a result of that. So stay yourself, right? So dare to stay in this high vibration, dare to stay in God's ways instead of worldly ways. So listen to God, listen to God's instructions, right? Stay close to God, because those godly ways, they are not the worldly ways, but a massive expansion is going to come with that, but also financially. So stay who you are, even if there's like so much social pressure for you to maybe you're also experiencing that Satan is seeking to literally shut you up, like which is a form of social pressure in and of itself as well, right? Then don't fall for it, and just keep on being who you are, because what you are doing is you are most definitely in alignment. You're most definitely working, like living the godly way, right? Instead of the worldly way, and it's going to have there's something positive that's going to come from that. I don't really know why I have connected this card back then, the orange, with that. Oh yes, it has to do with a holiday that's only celebrated in my country, in Belgium, and it has a lot to do with belief. So this has to do with belief. These oranges, because these are like these tiny oranges. These I don't know how you call them, tangerines, I think. And this is related to believing. So it's kind of like you could see that as similar to believing in Santa, right? So you are believing in God, similar to believing in Santa. Like remember those times like when you wake up and you in the morning and like you're like full of wonder and like what did Santa bring me, right? What is in my shoe today? So it relates to that, right? What is in my sock today? So so stay curious, stay and I'm getting these like really burning hands, like tingling hands all throughout today. Um I don't know if there's a message in that, but like it tingles very, very much right now. Um so there could be something about that you are stay believe keep on believing, but keep on believing with childlike wonder, right? Keep on believing with childlike wonder and be like, wow, I'm so curious today what is going to be in in my stocking today. I'm so curious what Santa brought me today. um Believe, right? Be believe, like believing in a fairy godmother, right? The fairy godmother will make wishes come true, will make everything all right. So that kind of a wonder, that is what you need right now. um yeah, that's what I'm seeing, and this will cause massive expansion in your life. There's something that's going to happen because of that, and you're also like continuously in divine alignment as well. And there's something about, if you look at it the way I usually see it, like just based on numbers, right? It means that you are only starting out with something, but it will be progressing quite quickly, perhaps. Like a cabbage also grows quite quickly, you could say. So maybe Satan is also going to be observing that quick expansion, perhaps as well. And there could be something here about that you are making progress, and then Satan is seeking to divide you, to cause inner conflict within yourself, to cause some kind of disharmony, ruckus, triggering, whatever it may be. And it's actually because you are progressing, I think, that this is happening. There's something about, if you like look at it in terms of the cards, and this would be like Satan would like you for you to stay in this new beginning, but you are going to progress, and you're going to progress quite quickly. And it's going to be quite like this cabbage was like one of my most the biggest crop I actually grew, right? So you're going to be growing big crops, although you're just beginning. And Satan would like you to stay in the beginning stage, like never progressing beyond that. It will always be a new beginning, that you won't be able to move further than that. And there's also something very interesting that I'm literally being blocked right now, like practically being massively blocked. So I'm just focusing on other things, right? So God could also be talking to you to say, like, if you are also experiencing blockages right now that come from Satan, right? Because I feel this demonic attack, demonic blockages happening. Then I just see it with God knows what He is doing, to see it like that, right? Like God knows what He is doing, and this blockage is not a blockage. The blockage on the way is the way, right? I see it like that. So if God is going to use this blockage, and it's up to me to see how this blockage actually is not a blockage, but it's actually a blessing in disguise, right? So try to be that curious, right? So be curious about, okay, Satan, you think that that's a blockage. You think that you're blocking my path, but you're not blocking my path. There is, if I can see, if I can see what God is intending with this blockage, because it's not a blockage, right? If you're curious about that, then the blockage on the way will become the way, right? So remember that. um this do see that. And I also see it with this dominoes here. It's actually quite fascinating, these dominoes, to go put that together. There's something about like you are seeking to make progress, and then Satan is seeking to cause some kind of inner conflict within you, some kind of disruption, right? Because you are making progress. So, and this would be progress. So there's something about, maybe also in terms of gut health, you may also be making progress, and maybe Satan is seeking to disrupt that. You could be Yeah, as well in terms of intuition. So if you, for example, meet someone who is seeking to tell you that your intuition is wrong, for example, see that as Satan, right? See that as Satan seeking to um to make you doubt your own intuition, but you are actually becoming more intuitive. You're actually becoming more accurate, perhaps more on point. So don't fall for it, I would say. You are actually more connected, right? So don't fall for what Satan is doing here, because that is also one of his traps, I think, right now. Um, so let's see. And just trust it, right? For example, even if, for example, if you are also like giving messages to people, right? Or even prophetic messages. And you're and it's so this could be that someone tells you that what you're saying is not accurate, for example, then do know that Satan actually is seeking to make you mistrust your prophetic ability, but you are exactly on point. Do know that God is giving you the confirmation you were on point, you were right, you had the right discernment here, and Satan is seeking to make you doubt your own judgment, your own instincts, your own. So he could also be gaslighting you right now as well. So trust yourself, right? You have a very, very strong connection right now. So trust your gut, trust that you have given the right prophetic messages, and know that you're also, in terms of gut health, perhaps if that would also apply to you, that you are actually progressing in that as well. So you're actually, so it could be that if you had eliminated a certain allergen or something, and you were successful at that for 99.9%, for example, then you may see that 0.1% increase and like get to that 100% level, perhaps. So there's something about that you're even progressing in that as well. So, which is also perhaps has something to do with your intuition becoming even stronger, your connection with God maybe becoming even stronger as well. So, and your magical abilities, your supernatural abilities, it could cause some kind of natural magic as well, as your energy is rising, because um, yeah, right now, like literally, Satan has a problem with the frequency of my voice right now. So, yeah, so maybe there's also something about your energetic frequency that is literally rising right now as a result of that as well. And this to me just talks about like uh, alignment, right? So you are aligning with the godly ways, and as a result, you will also start to see more things, more wonder in your life. Maybe you are increasing in naivety, you are increasing in your belief in God, you're increasing in your sense of wonder as you are following godly ways, as you are following divine instructions, and you are heavily in alignment, right? So that is also like cause and effect as well. Like the more you are connected to God, the more you believe, the more you are kind of like naive and like wondrous, and it's because you're not walking the path of worldly ways, you're walking the path of godly ways, right? And it relates to that. So if you have a lot of childlike wonder, belief in like a child in magic, right? Like like that is actually because you are incredibly connected to God. So see that as a positive thing. So I'm wishing you that's not you being naive or stupid or whatever or not thinking things through or whatever. No, it's actually because you're incredibly connected to God, right? So I'm wishing you a very beautiful day ahead, and I hope this was helpful to you. Bye bye.